Today we're going to make a recipe that is the equivalent to a Chinese hamburger, and we're going to make the flatbread that is very pita-like and then fill it with, usually it's meat that has been stewed for hours in this aromatic broth. But today we're going to fill it with jackfruit instead, so I hope you all enjoy. So we're gonna make the buns first. I have a little bit of warm water with some instant yeast that I'm going to mix together into 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, a little bit of baking powder, and then close to 3/4 of a cup of water, maybe a little bit less depending on your environment. And you're just gonna knead it together for a couple of minutes until the ball becomes nice and smooth. Now, while the dough rests in a warm place for about an hour, I'm going to prepare the jackfruit. So I have 3 cups of either jarred or canned jackfruit that I'm going to put in a 325-degree Fahrenheit oven. And my goal is to just dehydrate it just a bit because that is going to get these jackfruit to taste a lot more meaty and a little less vegetal. Now, time for the aromatics of what we're going to stew the jackfruit in. So typically the jackfruit's going to replace like a pork or a beef depending on where you are in China. And I'll put all of the recipes down below. But essentially, I'm going to put all of the little bits and pieces of spices into a coffee filter so that it does not kind of escape into the broth. And then everything else I'm just going to put with right around 2 cups of water. Okay, so right as the mixture is about to boil, I'm going to put in all of the jackfruit, and that is going to simmer for 30 minutes with the lid on. Afterwards, I'm going to take the lid off and I'm going to reduce the liquid to right around 1 cup. And that way I'll have enough of that sauce to spoon over the burgers when we are done. Okay, so back to the dough. I'm just going to knead it for about a minute to bring some life back into it, and then get it into a log and cut it into 5 equal pieces. So my goal here is to roll it out to about 8 to 9 inches or so, after which I'll fold the kind of rectangular piece of dough in half and then spiral it inwards so that I get a circular shape for the buns. You can see that I'm sort of doing a stretch and roll method, and afterwards you just tuck the ends underneath. And usually right after they've been rolled like this, the dough is going to be too hard to deal with. So you just want to put a piece of cloth on top of it, wait about 15 to 20 minutes until the dough relaxes before rolling it out to, I'd say, about a 6-inch in diameter disc. So I have a cast iron skillet over medium-high heat that I've just brushed with a tiny, tiny bit of oil. And you just want to kind of cook these for maybe like a minute or so each side. You'll start seeing them puff up. And you just want to check that the sides have reached a light brown color before flipping it over and cooking the other side. This flatbread is very much like a pita. I would say maybe just a little bit fluffier, but there is a space in between that is created by all of the heat, and that is something that you can easily slice open and fill these guys up with. I'll say that it is very essential to have some of that liquid remain, because otherwise the sandwich can end up being a little bit too dry, and it's always really nice to just dip it back into that liquid because it is so good. I'm serving it with some fresh coriander, and sometimes people will have this with like a fermented bean paste too, but honestly all it needs is like a tablespoon of that liquid, and these guys are golden. They're so pretty, and I can see these guys be displayed in like a barbecue, or like when you have friends and you kind of have this big get together. You can just put them in the papers, and therefore it's really easy as a grab and go. Yes, just dip it into that broth. Anyways, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this recipe, and a happy Memorial Day, happy bank holiday weekend to you all. As usual, if you want to see more recipes like this, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all again soon. Bye!